guys, it's Kris from Kris Creations. I want to thank all my new subscribers. I've been going a long time. I don't think I've uploaded a video at all in 2014. And I also want to thank all my old subscribers because a lot of you have been sticking with me. And I decided that it's time for me to come back and to do more videos. I enjoyed it when I was doing it. I had some life changes, so I had to take care of that. Now I'm back and I want to get back to work. So I was looking at some of my videos and I wanted to see what was a good video to come back with. I got a lot of hits on my cupcake soy tarts, candle tarts. So I decided to do a full tutorial on how to make these things. They're very beautiful. These are cherry crumb pie and they're mini. They have jojoba beads on them. They also have iridescent diamond glitter on top of them. And the way that I sell them by 2. And they come in this candy box and they're in a little insert inside. And so they come like that. Each cupcake is about 1/2 ounce. And then they're packaged this way. The whole box is shrink wrapped. And then there's 2 ribbons on it. There's a ribbon going this way, and then there's a ribbon going this way that's tied. And underneath, which I haven't done, there is the label that tells you about the candle tarts and everything like that. So it's a beautiful gift to give, very reasonable in price. And I hope you make them. I hope you like them. I hope you buy them for me if you're not interested in making them. Even if you are interested in making them, I hope you buy some for me too. So let's get started. I'm going to show you exactly from beginning to end on how to make these cupcake soy tarts. Now, I'm not going to get into the ins and outs of how to make candles because I'm assuming that you already know how to make candles. So I'm only going to do a tutorial on how to make the kind of tart look of these things, okay? I will be right back with the things that you're going to need to get started, okay? Okay, everybody, I assembled all the things that you're going to need to make these cupcake soy tarts. I am going to make 12 of them. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I'm sorry, I made 10 of them. So I have 6.25 ounces of wax here. This is going to be the bottom of the cupcake. So I have a Pyrex container. You need containers to contain your wax. I like to use Pyrex containers for cupcake tarts instead of the metal ones because they cool the wax faster. And you want the wax to cool faster so that, one, the bottom solidify as the topping is being whipped, so everything coincides at the same time. So you'll need 2 Pyrex containers to hold your wax. You're also going to need a scale to measure out your wax. In the wax, you can use any kind of wax for this. I only use soy wax. I don't use any kind of other kind of wax in any of my products. So you can use soy, you can use paraffin, whatever the case may be. You're also going to need some silicone mini cupcake liners. And you can use one of these mini cupcake tins if you want, or you can just leave them like on a regular cookie sheet because they retain their form without really having any borders like the cupcake. But I want to use it this way. I also use a spatula to get the whipped wax out of the bowl and into the piping bag. So piping bag, let's go here. You need a piping bag. I use disposable piping bags from Wilton. You can get these at Michael's, especially with their coupons that they have every week, really cheap. And I use a 1M, which is here. I use a 1M piping tip. You're also going to need fragrance. Today we're going to do this one in Butt Naked. So you need your fragrance. You're also going to need a color, a candle safe, a wax safe colorant. So I'm going to use orange today for the Butt Naked. And any decorating that you want to use on your candles. I like to use non-food items on my candles, so I use jojoba beads, and I have a mixture of color here. I have purple, pink, blue, mango, Bango Madness, and yellow. And I mix those together so that they look like candy sprinkles, and I sprinkle those on top. I also use iridescent diamond glitter. And lastly, you're going to need, not lastly, but you're also going to need a whisk of some sort. I use a, see, I got wax all over that chair from last time, so I got to throw that in the washer. So I use a stick blender and with a whisk attachment. I would say this is a must because I've never made this candle without it. So I say this is a must. And lastly, you're going to need a thermometer. If you make any candle maker, it needs a good thermometer. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to color and fragrance this wax, and I'll be back for the pouring. Okay, I went ahead and colored this wax. I actually decided to use peach instead of orange. And this is my sample of what the color is going to look like when it comes out. I always do a test color to make sure I got the right color from the cooled standpoint. And I just put it on a piece of freezer paper and just stick it in the oven for a couple seconds until it solidifies. And that tells me if I need to put more colorant in or if you put too much in, you can't go back unless you add more wax and adjust the fragrance. But I have the fragrance in. Now what I'm doing is I'm binding the fragrance to the wax. I get a lot of questions about how do you get a good scent throw with your candles. It depends on a whole lot of things. I use the same type of wax. I don't vary very much with my candle making. So I got mine down to a science. I know what you want to do is you want to make sure that your temperature of your wax when you add your fragrance is at a proper temperature. You don't want it too high because it'll burn off the fragrance, and when you go to warm your wax melts or burn your candles, no scent throw will come off because it came off in the making of the product. So get to know your wax and figure out and your fragrances to figure out what's the right temperature to add your wax. Once you do that, you want to bind the fragrance to the wax. And all that entails is just stirring, vigorous stirring for, I use 2-minute increments. So I stir continuously for 2 minutes. And for me, that works every single time. So my timer went off. I'm sorry. So let me turn that off. So that's all done. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to pour these right. Let me see the temperature of this. And it's at a great pouring temperature for this particular wax, 143. So I'm just going to pour each of this into each individual mold. I don't know if you really need to see this part, but I told you I would give you an in-depth kind of tutorial. So here you go. Even going down to the elementary-ness of it all, which is pouring. I tried to get it as close to the lip without going over as possible. And I think I have the perfect amount here. Like I said, I make these a lot, so I have this pretty much down to a science. No leftover, everybody's poured. Make sure that they're straight. So these are going to sit and solidify, and then I'm going to wait for that reserve wax to start to cool. And then I'll be back when that is ready to start whipping, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, my reserve wax is starting to cool, and what I do is I use hand whipping first because this wax is very liquid, and if you start like with the chair I showed you, if you start whipping it when it's this liquid, it is going to fly all over the place. So what I do is just usually just hand whip it until it gets a little thicker. And I'll come back and show you when I think I want to start to use the stick blender. Be right back. Okay, this is getting a little thicker. You can see that it's not as liquid. So I am going to start stick blending this. I can't stick blend with one hand, so I'm holding the camera with one hand and stirring with the other. So one thing I do want to tell you is don't try to hasten this process by throwing this wax in the freezer or the refrigerator to cool it down faster. That does not work. It will make a big old mess. Just let it cool naturally, and by putting it in the freezer, you cut down the time that you have to actually pipe. So don't be impatient. This whole process takes about an hour, to tell you the truth. I always watch Dr. Phil when I'm doing this. I know it takes an hour, and I'm usually done with them by the time Dr. Phil goes off. So I'm going to start whipping this, and I will be back to show you the different stages of the whip. Okay, this is the next stage of the whip. It's kind of like icing right now. It's thicker. It's not ready. What we're going to do is we're going to make sure it has stiff peaks. Okay, now we have our wax at a perfect consistency. Look at that. The peaks are starting to form. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this in a piping bag really quickly and start piping. I'll be right back. Okay, I have my piping bag all set up. I'm going to do a test pump. Now this is no different than frosting any other cupcake. It's going to be hard for me to do this with one hand, but I'm going to attempt it so I can show you. And there you have it. I like to keep them low so that they fit in the box. There you have it. So I'm going to finish piping the rest of them, and I'll be back with okay, our candles hearts are almost done, and this is the fun part. It's about decorating. As you notice, I didn't put any fragrance in the tops of these because some fragrance will discolor wax, and I like my frosting to be really white, and it's actually going to whiten up even more as it starts to cool. So I don't put fragrance in the top. I don't use much wax on the top, so all the fragrance load is in the bottom. You get a great scent throw for that. Now, decorating these. They can decorate these in so many different ways. You want to make sure you start decorating while it's still a little bit soft so that your decorations stick to the frosting. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking the jojoba beads and just sprinkling them on top, and they just adhere really nicely. Try not to do too much. And you can also use, like, you can get some wax and color it like in a chocolate brown and make like a drizzle, like a chocolate drizzle or a caramel drizzle on top of your cupcake. So whatever you want to do. You can even use like real candy sprinkles. I choose not to do that. That doesn't mean it's bad. It's just my choice. But you can use all kinds of things to decorate your cupcakes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sprinkle some glitter on this. So I'm using iridescent glitter. And then we will be all done. And that's the beginning to the end of how do you make soy cupcake tarts. I like to go heavy with the glitter. I just love glitter. It's so pretty. And it also makes your melted wax look really pretty because you have your cupcakes to start out and then they melt down and then there's nothing left but the wax. But the glitter inside the wax keeps your product, even in a melted form, looking really pretty. And I like pretty. So try not to overdo it, but I like to give them a nice shaking of the glitter. And this one is my favorite glitter, is the iridescent diamond glitter because it's so sparkly. They have iridescent glitter, and I don't like it so much. It doesn't give it a really good sparkle, but this diamond glitter is the bomb. I love it. So I'm all done. And let me show you them. There you have it. So I'm gonna let these cool overnight. but I'm going to upload the video so that you can see this right away, and package them maybe in a day or two. All right, I thank you guys for riding with me, and I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Bye.